you've enjoyed your weekend here in Franklin, Tennessee at the Nashville Elvis Festival. I want to say thank you to 20 very special guys who trusted us to take care of them this weekend and put their careers in our hands. We really appreciate those guys and what they do. And we appreciate all of you for coming and spending this time with us. And I hope you're going to come back tomorrow morning for gospel. About an hour ago, they told me we had 8 tickets left for gospel in the morning. There's no better way to start your Sunday and start your trip back home than with gospel music and Elvis Presley on Sunday morning. We did a thing last year, very special, to kick off the second act of the finals, and that was with my good friend Martindale. He did a piece that he composed a few years ago on the day that Elvis passed away, and I just loved it so much. I thought it was so emotional and touching and really kind of captured why we're all here. And he's going to do something else for us tonight in that same vein, and then he's going to be followed by the 2009 Ultimate Elvis Champion from Memphis, Tennessee, Mr. Bill Cherry. So the next time you hear my voice, I'll be reading out the top 5 in the winners. So I'm going to go rest a little bit. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I now turn the stage over to Mr. Wink Martindale.
Good evening. We all have our own personal memories of where we were and what we were doing that hot summer day in 1977 when we learned of the death of Elvis Presley. That was the day God called him home to hopefully a better place. I remember that on that day, after a parched Las Vegas, a hot, hot sun that had shone down on Las Vegas for weeks and weeks and weeks, that was the day that rain began to fall in this city that Elvis had seen so many great moments. The day he died, several books came out that derided his memory. I was upset about that to the point that I wrote a piece pointing out the positives of Elvis. I called it That Was Elvis to Me, and I performed it here last year, as Tom said. This year, Tom called me a couple of weeks ago and he said, Wink, I've written something that I would love to have you read the night before Mr. Cherry comes out. I said, I would be thrilled. So with that in mind, these are his words. This weekend in beautiful Franklin, Tennessee, at this wonderful theater, we've come from all over the world to enjoy and be entertained by tribute artists from 7 different countries and from around these United States. We've had a competition that will result in a life-changing experience later tonight for one of those gentlemen. But there are no winners or losers, only people who share a common love. We've had fun with concerts and game shows and movie screenings and after parties. We've laughed and caught up with friends and made new friends all weekend. Tomorrow morning we will be immersed in gospel music before we all make our way back home to our real lives. But let us not forget why we are all here this wonderful weekend. Let's remember who brought us together. I'd like to share something with you that perhaps you haven't read or seen in quite a while. How many times have each of us made our way up the winding drive and found ourselves looking down over the final resting places of Elvis and his family? How many times have we brought flowers in their memory and stood in silence with others as we each remember the man, his family, his music, and what his life meant to our lives. But how many times have you read and really thought about the words that rest atop the greatest entertainer the world has ever seen? Words that read as follows. Elvis Aaron Presley, January 8, 1935, August 16th, 1977. Son of Vernon Elvis Presley and Gladys Love Presley. Father of Lisa Marie Presley. He was a precious gift from God. We cherished and loved dearly. He had a God-given talent that he shared with all the world. And without a doubt, he became the most widely acclaimed, capturing the hearts of young and old alike. He was admired not only as an entertainer, but as the great humanitarian that he indeed was, for his generosity and his kind feelings for his fellow man. He revolutionized the field of music and received its highest awards. He became a living legend in his own time, earning the respect and love of millions. Then God saw that he needed some rest, and he called him home to be with him. We miss you, son and daddy. I thank God that he gave us you as our son. By Vernon Presley. Elvis Presley was the personification of an American idol. From the beginning of his fame in the mid-50s until he passed away at Graceland, he was never not idolized. We love the king of rock and roll. We love him still. Elvis has never left the building, and God knows he never will.